In today's video, I'm sharing 10 Airstream lessons we learned the hard way so you don't have to. So stay tuned. Hey guys, so welcome back. So when we bought our Airstream over 4 years ago, Lisa and I had this vision, just like many of you, of these adventures we were going to have, hitting the road and seeing all the great sights that this country has to offer. Now, our initial thoughts were probably a little bit naive, in the beginning. We didn't really understand what Airstream ownership fully entails. There's those bumps in the roads, those highs, those lows. And what I want to talk with you about are those 10 lessons that we've learned the hard way and kind of share with you our experience. And if you currently own an Airstream and you have regrets, I want to kind of share with you some of my thoughts on that. Or if you're considering buying an Airstream, I just want to also give you a little bit of a reality check so you can kind of make an informed decision on whether Airstreams are really the right RV for you. So let's get after it. Okay, so the first lesson we learned is that there is no perfect Airstream. Whether it's new or vintage, they're all going to have their own unique flaws. Every one of them are handcrafted, so there's going to be that chance that they're going to have their own very unique personality. So if you just understand that and embrace it and understand that the quirks that come with your Airstream are unique to your RV, as opposed to somebody else's. So if you have something that you don't like about your Airstream, or it doesn't quite match up with what you expected, just understand there's no perfect Airstream. There's just the perfect Airstream for you. All right, so the second lesson that we learned is that every Airstream leaks or is going to leak. And we know that for a fact. We've had 2 leaks on our Airstream. One that caused significant damage. It was a very difficult and challenging repair, but it was something that I was able to accomplish. More recently, we had our city water inlet valve started leaking. Fortunately for us, we were diligent in keeping up with our maintenance, and I was able to identify that leak before it caused any damage. So I will just tell you that if you own an Airstream, expect that it's eventually going to have some leaks, whether from the exterior or some water leak interior to your plumbing system or something to that effect. So not telling you that to discourage you, but just giving you a bit of a forewarning. Just like your home, there's going to be things that break and you're going to have to make those repairs, and leaks are going to be one of those that you're definitely going to want to stay on top of. The third lesson that we learned is that you've got to be curious and willing to learn. Be willing to roll up your sleeves and tackle any projects that you have on your Airstream. I would tell you that the majority of repairs and maintenance on your Airstream are basically simple DIY tasks that any Airstream owner should be able to accomplish on their own. Now, that's not saying, you're going to do a complete shell-off restoration, but for basic maintenance, basic repairs, you got to be curious and be willing to learn and accept that that's just part of Airstream ownership. The fourth lesson that we learned is that routine maintenance is your friend. Just like home ownership, there are certain routine maintenance tasks that you have to take care of on a regular basis. They're not overly involved, but just like your home, you've got to do basic routine tasks and keep up with your maintenance so that your Airstream can provide that type of experience that you're looking for when you go camping. The last thing you want to be doing while you're out on a camping trip is having to make repairs to something that you neglected and failed to do routine maintenance on. So the fifth lesson that we learned in Airstream ownership is having the right tool for the right job. Now, I will tell you, there are a lot of ways to repair an Airstream, and there are a lot of ways to do it wrong. And using the wrong tool is one thing that you don't want to do. As I've mentioned before, we've had to do simple repairs as well as we've had to do extensive repairs to our Airstream. And one of the most critical aspects of doing any type of repair is just making sure you have the right tool or tools on hand for the job that you're trying to accomplish. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go out and spend a month's wages at the local hardware store buying all of the latest and greatest tools. I would tell you, most of these tools are probably some you already have in your toolbox, just laying around the house. If you're interested in that as well, I've also created a video that kind of lays out some of those essential tools that I carry. And any time that I go on a trip, I always do an inventory of my toolbox just to make sure I've still got all those tools on hand. Because you'll use them throughout the year or whatever around the house or on your Airstream, but they don't always make it back into your toolbox. So you just want to make sure that you keep those tools on hand whenever you're traveling. So if you do have a minor repair or even a major repair, you've got the right tools on hand. Hey guys, if you like our videos and you want to support our channel, we've made it super easy. Just click the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. It's a simple way to support the channel and help us continue making videos. And yes, it really does help fuel us with coffee down the road. All right guys, thanks for your support. And now back to the video. So the sixth lesson that we've learned since owning our Airstream is that being handy is definitely a plus. Now that doesn't mean you need to be, Bob Vila from This Old House and be able to do all of the repairs yourself, but just having some basic DIY skills will go a long ways. Also, there's so many resources on the internet, on YouTube, Airstream addicts, Airstream forums, where you can ask questions if you're not sure of how to go about a repair, and you can get some great advice and great information, because I will almost guarantee you the problem you're facing, somebody else has already faced and has already come up with a solution for it. Now, I will tell you, just be careful. Not all the advice you get online is going to be good advice. Just use common sense on that as well. So again, being handy is definitely an advantage. If you're not overly handy, you can learn a lot of things just by inquiring and seeking out those that have already made some of those repairs and just learning how to do it yourself. Okay, so the seventh lesson that we've learned is that it is always beneficial to have a mentor, an Airstream owner or friend who's owned an Airstream for several years, who's kind of already went through those trials, those ups and downs that you're probably experiencing. They can be a wealth of knowledge as well as a source of support and encouragement whenever you're facing a problem to help you get through it. I got a favor.
I got a gun. What's favor?
You got 10 minutes? I can't stress how important it is to join Airstream Club International, and especially a local club, because that's where you're going to meet those fellow Airstream owners that can help you with some of those problems and everything else. And they're also going to give you some good maintenance advice. They'll give you some tips that you hadn't thought about. And it's just a great way to build that Airstream community at the local level. All right, so the eighth lesson that we've learned is to find the right technician. Now that could be a technician at a local Airstream dealership. It could be a Airstream certified technician who's opened his own shop. I know that Vinny's Airstream out in California and in Florida is very popular within the Airstream community. I've never had any service or work done through Vinny's, but everything I've heard is he does great work. We have used a technician up in the Virginia area whenever I had some reinforcement brackets installed in the front of our Airstream to prevent any type of front end separation issues. Those are tasks that I would not recommend that just the average Airstream owner try to accomplish. That's where you need those subject matter experts, those trained professionals who have all of the right tools, the right shops, and all the right experience to do those types of jobs for you. So I can't stress enough that when the task exceeds your ability to do the repairs yourself, make sure that you find a good qualified technician, and there's plenty of them out there. I'm sure they would be more than happy to help you with whatever your issues are. So the ninth lesson that we've learned is that we have to manage our expectations. You can read online on any of the forums or on Facebook, people get very discouraged or they have very negative comments about Airstreams a lot of times. And a lot of it is focused on, well, I paid this much money for an Airstream, I should have no problems. Well, that's just simply not reality. I think we have a false sense of if I pay a lot of money, there's never going to be any problems. You could buy $1 million home, you could buy a $500,000 Italian sports car, and I guarantee you there's going to be problems with the home and or the sports car. Your Airstream's no different. Whether you buy it brand new or if you buy one used, people expect, well, I've got an Airstream, so nothing's going to happen to it. Nothing's going to go wrong with it. It's just going to give me years and years and years of problem-free camping and everything. That's just simply not the case. And I don't care what brand of RV you own, every one of them are going to have issues that as an owner you're going to have to address. The 10th lesson we've learned since owning our Airstream is that a positive attitude can go a long ways. I tell you, we couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. I think it's like 72 degrees outside right now, clear blue skies. Just, man, this is awesome, like fall weather.
It is, it's gorgeous outside.
So it really comes down to what type of attitude are you going to have? Are you going to have a positive attitude and a can-do attitude? I can get through this and we're going to continue on with our adventure. Or are you going to have a negative attitude and allow those dips in the road, those bumps, just kind of ruin your trip? You know, I'll admit, nobody likes to have to repair a leak or change out a flat tire or anything like that. But it's just part of life. It's part of the ups and downs that you're going to experience in just day-to-day living. Just embrace it. Every problem can be solved. There's always people out there that can help you. They're just a phone call away. And as long as you maintain that positive attitude, it's going to take you a long ways in enjoying your Airstream for years and years to come. All right, guys, so those are our 10 lessons we learned the hard way that we wanted to share with you. Airstream ownership, you can either look at it as a reward or you can look at it as a regret. Lisa and I like to look at it as a reward. It hasn't always been perfect. There's been times when we've been frustrated, we've been a little bit upset, but maintaining that positive attitude, looking at all of the great things that we've been able to do, places we've been able to travel, makes it all worthwhile. Airstream ownership, again, is a great way of exploring the country. It's a great way of seeing a lot of our natural beauties here in America. And we would just encourage you to take these lessons that we've learned, see how you can apply them to your Airstream owner experience. And hopefully you will find that Airstream ownership is truly a reward and not anything that you should have any regrets with. So guys, thanks for watching. If we don't hear from you, safe travels, and we'll see you down the road.